Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kristi Martin, and this year I'm going to be doing my student teaching in West Palm Beach, Florida. So today is going to be my 4th week of student teaching, and this week I actually get to prep lessons and teach lessons throughout the week. So this week I'm doing reading and Bible. And I'm doing Bible. I know that's a weird subject for some people because I'm at a private Christian school this semester, so they do have Bible as a subject. So those are the 2 subjects that I'm doing starting today. Today we're going to be using those characters that I was drawing the other day. I actually ended up sticking a dowel rod. It's like the really thin wooden rods to the back using hot glue, and so then it will be easy for students to hold as well as for me to tell the story, because like I had mentioned in the last video, the board is not magnetic, the Promethean board, so I couldn't use magnets to tell the story kind of like I was going to do. So this was my thing. This was what I decided to do because oh my goodness. It's gonna be a long week. Anyway, that's the plan for the Bible today. I'm gonna tell the story of Adam and Eve, do their Bible verse, do their hand motions, and review the days of creation, because that's what they talked about last week. And then for reading, I'm reading a story with them in their Journeys textbook, Curious George Goes to School. So basically today's just to introduce the vocab, to read through the story, and to ask comprehension questions throughout to see if they are understanding what they are reading. So that is the plan for the lessons that I'm teaching today. Hey, good morning. It is Tuesday. Today I am doing Bible and doing reading again. Today for Bible I have like a kind of like a science experiment to talk about sin, and I'm going to show you guys that later on today. Maybe last night when I tried it I was just not feeling good, not like COVID sick, but like just not feeling good, so I just decided to not film it, but I want to because it's a really cool experiment, so I'll probably do that later. Today I have aftercare duty, and then I have to meet with one of my professors over Zoom to talk about an application that I need to fill out and all this stuff, for something that I'm applying for. So yeah, that is going to be my day. It's not too exciting, but at least I'm teaching. I did realize that I've been bringing this book home. Look how thick it is. I've been bringing it home and back to school and home and back to school, and now my back literally hurts so bad. So I think I'm just gonna start taking pictures of the pages and then just deleting them after, because I can't carry that thing back and forth. I mean, it just, like, my spine this morning, I was like, why do I ache? I didn't even work out yesterday like I wanted to. Well, that's why. It's this textbook thing that I keep, the teacher's edition, that I keep bringing back and forth. So I'm not going to be doing that anymore. But see, you learn little things along the way and you're like, why would I be doing that? Like, this experiment that I did with my students to talk about sin and Jesus and what that looks like, because we were obviously talking about the Garden of Eden, and when Eve ate the apple she sinned. And so this is my jar with sin, and basically in this jar it's water and iodine. And before I did this experiment, I wrote up on the board and had the students come up with some ideas of sin and what that looks like. So then they had a concept of what was in this jar. Then this is me. So basically it's a person, me or them, and when God made us, when God made Adam and Eve, they were perfect, but we'll see what happens with the experiment. And then this is Jesus, and in this jar it's basically water and bleach. And I'm just telling you what's in each jar so then you can kind of get a picture for how the experiment works. But anyway, so we talked about sin with the class, and then I said, and when we sin, this is what we look like. And so I poured some sin into the jar, and basically we talked about how sin makes us dirty, and sin's things like disobeying, lying, cheating, things like that they came up with, and then it makes us dirty, and we could feel guilty or sad or regretful. It makes us dirty, so we look like that. And then I said, but when Adam and Eve left the garden, God gave them hope that he would send his son Jesus, who would die on the cross for their sins, and Jesus died on the cross for our sins. And when we ask him to come into our lives and make us new, this is what happens. And then I poured Jesus into the jar, and I said, we become like new, because now God sees Jesus when he looks at us, and we're clean again. And so this was a good visual representation for sin and for what Jesus dying on the cross and forgiving our sins did for us. And so that's a pretty cool story of salvation, kind of to show in a visual representation, which was great for first grade, if you know what I mean. And it is really cool what Jesus did on the cross for us. Good morning, guys. Today is Wednesday, and I normally don't vlog on Wednesdays, but for some reason today I'm feeling pretty good. Maybe I'm getting used to the schedule. I'm not as tired as I was. I think it also helps that I'm not just sitting around all day anymore. Like, I have 2 subjects that I'm teaching. It just gives you more energy because you're excited about doing it. I don't know, maybe that's part of it. Maybe I'm just getting used to it. But anyway, it's good. I did want to show you this morning an activity that we're going to be doing for reading today, because I'm teaching reading and Bible this week, like I had mentioned. And the skill we're working on in reading is sequencing. So sequence of events. And so I printed out these cards, and they have pictures from the story on them as well as a sentence. I figured they're first grade, so the sentence might be a little tough for them to read, so the pictures will help. Basically, I just am going to give them this thing of cards. They're in these baggies over here. And then I'm going to see if they can order it themselves. And they might not be able to, they might be able to. I'm just going to go around and see who's getting the concept, who's not. That will be good for me. And then we'll do it together on the board. But I figured this would be a good activity because then I can ask them questions that would be similar to the ones on their test, like what happened at the start of the story, what happened after this event, things like that, just to get them prepared for the wording, because their test is tomorrow on Thursday. Yep. So I just want to make sure they're grasping the concept of sequence of events, and this will be good practice and a good tell for me. It's also hands-on, which is nice for them to be able to move around rather than just color or write. You know, it'll be a quicker probably process, which is good because we also have chapel and things like that today, so the time blocks for subjects are a little bit shorter. I just hope they do good on their test, because if they don't, that's my fault. And I mean, I've never taught this curriculum, I've never taught any of that, and I got it like the week before, but there's no excuse, like, you know, it's like still your fault. So I don't know, I really hope they do good. I just got home from school, and tonight I get to pick the winner for my giveaway. So basically, I've been creating a Word document throughout the week with how many times people have entered, because if they posted on their story about it, they got 3 entries, and then every time they tagged a person, they got 1 entry. So I had to make sure I had the right number for people, and I created a whole Word document for it. Now I'm gonna insert that Word document into a random generator thing, and then that's how it's gonna pick my winner for the giveaway. And I just can't wait to see who it is. It's gonna be fun. So let's see how it goes. So the winner of the giveaway is a girl named Kenna, and she's actually a student teacher, so that's super exciting for myself. And I'll put her Instagram here, and I'm about to announce it on Instagram on my story, so I'm making my story right now, and I'm so excited. I can't wait to contact her so I can get her information so I can send her the stuff. But doing this giveaway has been an awesome experience. I've honestly connected with so many more teachers and student teachers that I probably wouldn't have, and I will definitely be doing one soon again because it was a great experience and it was really fun. It is Thursday today. I don't think I mentioned that earlier, and I need to plan for next week. So I'm also doing reading and Bible next week, and the week after that I'll be doing science as well, and science and social studies. But anyway, I need to plan for next week. And so I kind of wanted to show you how I wrote out my plans for this week, because going through our college, we have a huge lesson plan that we do for every single lesson. And I figured, no, not going to do that for every single lesson. I won't have time for the week. So I made up my own little thing. We were supposed to use our teachers, but I haven't necessarily seen like this kind of format with her. So anyway, I just did it and she was fine with that. So let me show you what I exactly did. This is my whole group reading plan for this past week. So I have Monday here. I just did kind of like lesson and then questions at the beginning, because I wanted to remind myself of questions to ask throughout the story since I wasn't super familiar with the story. Let me see if I can make it bigger. Oh, there we go. So I asked some of those questions for our Curious George story. Tuesday, I put my review because I would have already introduced the vocabulary, and now I want to introduce sequencing during the lesson because I figured it was too hard for them to learn sequencing on a completely new story, so I might as well take Monday and do the introduction to the story and vocabulary, and then take Tuesday and talk about sequencing. Wednesday was our review day, so that was yesterday, and this is where I did those sequencing cards that I had showed you. And then today was Thursday, which was their test. So it's a super simple lesson plan format, but it kind of gives me an idea and keeps me on track, and also lets my teacher know what I'm planning on doing. Thankfully, my teacher's really flexible, so she had no problem with it. Today was actually their test day, so we reviewed quickly before they took their test. I was so nervous for them. I was like, if they do bad on the test, it is literally my fault. So they ended up doing really well. Obviously, there was a range of grades, but you expect a range. You don't have everyone getting 100. It just doesn't work that way. I just have to remind myself that. But they did really well on their vocabulary section, so I was happy because I tried a little bit of a new technique of showing them how to reread the sentence once they put the word in, because I don't know if they were comprehending that. And I was like, does it make sense when we would read the sentence out loud? And they would say yes or no. So I hope that strategy helped some of them. Their test reflected vocabulary as doing really well, so I was super happy about that. But anyway, this is the lesson plan that I'm going to be doing similar to this next week. So I'm going to follow the same format because it worked very well this week and everything flowed, and yeah, I was happy with it. So I'm going to be planning now. Yay! It's Friday and aftercare is done, and I'm back in the room actually because I had to grab my characters that I had made for Adam and Eve this week, so I wanted to make sure I got those. I am so excited though because it's a long weekend, so we have Monday off. So I'm just in here making sure that I have everything so I can plan my lessons over the weekend, the rest of it, because I have my first observed lesson on Tuesday, and it is going to be in Bible, and it is by my classroom teacher. So I think it's gonna go well, but I'm nervous. To show you 2 more things students made me. How cute is that? They colored it and then it says, I love you, M. And then that's me and her. I love student gifts. It's like the best part. Today we read this story. It's called Curious George, and it's just about Curious George going to school. It kind of went with our read aloud for the week, but it's really cute and they loved it. They were really into it actually because he's curious and he gets into trouble. This morning I couldn't film because I got up, got in a dress or whatever, and then like 2 minutes before I had to leave, I realized the dress was see-through and you could see my sliders, because I always wear sliders under my dresses. But I was like, I'm gonna be late. I left my house, and then like 5 minutes into the drive, I was like, I gotta turn around and change because I'm just gonna be thinking about how see-through the dress is, and it's probably too see-through, whatever. So I had to go home, then I changed, then I came back, and I just did not have time. I was rushing in here. I made it like I was like 1 minute late, which is not bad for having to change. So yay for dresses that are easy to change your outfit for sure. Well, everyone, thank you for watching this week. It was a pretty eventful one. Now that I'm starting to teach lessons, I'm excited to show you even more of that next week and how I'm preparing. And hopefully I'll be able to try some things out with kids and maybe show you what activities work and what don't. But overall, I just hope you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And I really hope this brightened your day.